going on with Garrett? Let's see. Do they have trial over there?
Pre-trial tomorrow.
Garrett, let's see, scheduled for a pretrial tomorrow in circuit court.
Amadi.
No, Your
The other matter.
Honor. The co-defendant, yes.
Okay. I didn't know this was a city attorney case. Okay, so what are we doing with this? Are we putting it out until after trial again?
That is correct, Your Honor. I know the court is eager to move this off its docket. Mr. Lipsy is, he has a co-defendant who's set for trial. And without going into too many details, I know that Zoom is up. He is participating in the co-defendant's trial, and the prosecutor, this case here in the present court is part of a global resolution or anticipated to be. Prosecutor does not want to do anything with this matter until after the co-defendant is tried. He's set for a final pretrial tomorrow. I do expect at that time he'll have a hard trial date.
Okay. Yeah, I handled the case at the lower courts. I am familiar. The co-defendant's case. Let's see here. Let's sit. Put it out 90 days.
August 28th. August 29th.
August 29th at 9:30.
Okay, very good.
And if you get a firm trial date, if you just email my staff, they can reset it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set. On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Marquise Evans. File number 23-00749. Council appearance.
Assistant Public Defender, he's not gonna vote, right? Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant, Marquise Evans, who is appearing to my right.
I need a city attorney on the record.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Thank you. Today was the date that was set for a restitution hearing and a sentencing. We resolved the restitution.
Your Honor, yes, there was no one appearing we had a restitution hearing today. It's my understanding that there was a witness to subpoena, but no one appeared.
That's correct, Mr. Staples.
That's correct, Your Honor. I had spoken to a couple of the witnesses who indicated that they were interested, but it turns out that they did not appear today.
Okay, sounds good. We'll proceed with the sentencing. You can make allocution.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Evans works. He can be responsible for fines and costs in this matter. He apologizes for being accountable, be pleading guilty. He would just wish that the court would understand that he's not trying to get away with anything. He just wants to pay back his debt and move on and be responsible in the rest of society.
Failure to report an accident. Your fine is $200. Can you make payment?
Can I get like 60 days?
You can. I don't know if you'll make payment in full within 60 days. You can make partial payments. You just go up to the criminal traffic window, or you can go to the court website and use your case number to make those payments, okay? Just don't forget that you have a payment here, because if you don't, then we'll issue a show cause. You'll get a notice to appear. And if you don't respond to the show cause, that a bench warrant issued. If you don't want a bench warrant that could put you in jail $20 fine, okay?
Take care of it.
Very good. Do you have any questions for the court?
No, that's,
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
You're all set, sir. Thank you.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, they pay it off, but can't, let them know.
Is Kip Schultz here?
No, Your Honor, we have not heard from him. The code officer tried to communicate with him, but we haven't been able to reach him.
There's nobody in the hallway. Oh, I was gonna say, I don't see a crowd. Okay. The file must be somewhere. Trying to think. Because we had a hearing on this one. I have a notice of entry of proposed court order here. So we had a hearing on the second. May. Okay, we're on the record of the matter, the people of the city of Lansing versus Kip Glenn Schultz, file number 230050021, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Thank you. Today was the date set for a review for a code compliance hearing, and I had it set for 9 o'clock. It's 9:11. We've not seen anyone present or appearing on behalf of Kip Schultz. The court does have in its possession a court order as well as a notice of entry under MCR 2.602B3 of the proposed court order.
Your Honor, in regards to that order, I believe there was a miscommunication between the office here and your office. The order was sent to you before it was served to Mr. Schultz, so he did not have time to object to it, to the proposed order. So if I could ask you, please not sign it at the moment. And if we could adjourn it for 2 weeks to allow Mr. Schultz to be served with the proposed order and allow him time to object properly, because he was not served with it before it went to your office.
Okay, we'll reset this matter then.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
June 13th at what time?
9:30.
June 13th at 9:30. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing further for the city. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set. On the record in the matter, the people of the city of Lansing versus Tito Armstrong. Tito Armstrong, sorry. Unfortunate. Let's see here, waiting for income tax to register and insure truck. Okay, well, there was 2 civil infractions. we doing with Salazar?
Your Honor, Salazar, I have an offer I need to discuss with him, but I am ready to go with Corliss.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Dominic Corliss, file number 23-00697. Council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
And Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of defendant Dominic Corliss, was appearing separately by video.
Okay, today was the date and the time that was set up for a pretrial and operating while intoxicated. Let's see, we adjourn this to allow discovery to complete and for the defendant to obtain a substance abuse assessment. How we proceed?
Your Honor, I did receive a substance abuse assessment from Pat's yesterday. In reviewing it, I've got a couple of questions, and I've talked it over with the city attorney. Who has no objection to adjourning for a week so that we can discuss it, hope maybe have an offer, but also give me an opportunity to perhaps reach out to Pat's and see if they can answer my questions.
May 30th at 10.
May 30th at 10. Any additional matters for the record today?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
No, for defendant, thank you.
Okay, you're all set, Mr. Corliss. Armstrong. Who's on the iPhone?
Anthony Davis, Your Honor.
Okay, give me just a moment. Receiving no future insurance default. Finally, need to speak to Mr. Salazar. The statue is free to go. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Anthony Davis II, file number 22L26958841. Mr. Davis, today's the date set for show cause because you owe $186 on a PBT refusal. We're here March 30th and it said extend to pay 30 days. When do you intend to make payment on that?
Your Honor, I was trying to figure out what was this regarding. I know it says PBT refusal, but is this from like the accident, like when I got from the other trial, from the other case? I'm sorry, is that regarding this?
What I have here is May 12th, 2022 at 1:31 in the morning at the area of South Cedar and East Jolly. That's all I have. I don't have a police report, so I couldn't tell you if this was attached to anything else, but maybe the city attorney has more information, but I don't.
Your Honor, I was in the hospital that day, so how could I refuse a PBT if I wasn't able to take a PBT? And this has to be,
The issue, it looks like, is that you got cited for PBT refusal and then you failed to appear in court. And so that's a default judgment. And so if you had a lawful defense, you were supposed to appear in court to address it, but you didn't do that. So there was a default. And it looks like that default was entered back in March.
back in March, yeah, that's when, Your Honor, I don't know if I know you're familiar with me, but you're familiar with the other situations regarding this case, and you told me that you didn't even want me dealing with the courts. This is all the same, like this is new to me. So this has to be regarding that other situation I have. But I never got any of that. I never got any notification.
You've been charged with a drunk driving in another matter, sir?
Yeah, they just brought that up in March. So this has to be a part of that. But as you remember, I have other issues going in your courtroom, and you said that you don't want me to appear in court until I get.
I recall you have other issues. You have one matter that was bound over, and you had another matter that we sent you for forensic evaluation, correct?
Yeah, correct. So this has to be part of the one that was bonded over. So this is my first recollection of anything, Your Honor. And again, that date I was in the hospital, so I don't know how I could refuse a PBT if I'm not even able to function or move. It seemed like the prosecution just throwing out anything they can towards me at this point. I don't know if I need to get hospital records or what regarding this, but it seemed like even this should have been collaborated with that other case anyway.
Well, this was charged by the city, and the OWI was charged by the county. So that's part of the issue.
Okay.
Let me hang tight. People ask Marquita if this is okay. Mr. Lee, who do you have for you?
I have Mr. Garcia.
Felix Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Felix Alman Garcia, file number 23-00907 and 908. Council appearances.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Mr. Felix Garcia, who is in the courtroom and standing to my right.
Mr. Garcia, today is the date and the time that was set for pre-trials. I have a trespassing and a alcohol in public. How are we proceeding today, council?
Mr. Garcia is going to plead guilty to the trespass, and the city has agreed to dismiss the alcohol in public.
You have an advice, right?
I do, Commissioner Coach.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Garcia, that's accurate. You want to plead guilty to the charge of trespassing?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Mr. Garcia, trespass is a misdemeanor, so the maximum penalty is punishable. Give me just a moment. Off the record. Uh, Back on the record, the trespassing is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 30 days in jail. Do you understand that?
Excuse me, ma'am?
Trespass, can you hear me? Or do you have a, do you need a device?
No, I just want
Okay,
to,
I said trespass is a misdemeanor. Do you understand that?
yes,
The maximum penalty is up to 30 days in jail. You understand that?
yes,
Okay, you want to plead guilty to the trespass?
yes,
Okay, so you want to waive your rights in order to plead guilty?
yes,
Okay, I have an advice of rights and plea information sheet. Is that your signature?
yes, ma'am.
Did you read this document before you signed it?
Yes, I have help reading it.
Okay, yeah, so you understand all the rights listed here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have any questions about these rights?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you have the right to have a trial in this matter. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And so at the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're presumed innocent until the city can prove you guilty. You have the right to have them prove you guilty by proving each element of the charge of trespass beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to give up that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to give up your right to cross-examine or question any other witnesses that they want to call against you?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to give up the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence you believe further a defense to this charge?
Yes, ma'am.
You also give up the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You recognize that?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights?
No, ma'am.
Any promises being made to you in exchange for you waiving your rights?
No, ma'am.
You're into a guilty plea because you believe you're guilty.
Yes,
As to the charge of trespass, how do you plead?
I was asked to leave. Yes, I'm guilty, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Factual basis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Garcia, on or about March 15th of 2023, were you at 6200 South Pennsylvania at or near East Miller Road?
Mhm.
And that's in the city of Lansing,
Yes,
County of Hingham, otherwise known as Meyer.
yes,
And you were given a lawful command by a Lansing police officer to leave and or vacate the premises,
yes,
and you refused to leave.
yes. I was waiting for the bus.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any questions from the city?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor.
Or satisfied with the factual basis, I'll accept your plea and find your plea be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. The open alcohol is dismissed per plea. Or your fine is $100. Can you make payment?
Can it come pay it on the third, ma'am?
You can. I'll note here that you'll pay by June 3rd.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for the court?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor.
Nothing further.
Thank you, you're all set.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you. I put Ms. Brackle back in there because she's running down, so she needs to go. Okay. Mr. Davis, I have a copy of the ROA. You defaulted back in May 2022. That's over a year ago, May 12, 2022. In addition to that, there were several default notices that were generated and sent to the address that the court had on file, and none of those were returned non-deliverable.
Your Honor.
Additionally, you saw, I'm not finished yet, sir. You saw our magistrate in this matter back on March 30th of this year. And at that time, you requested a 30-day extension to pay. And she granted it. That was the note that you, on March 30th, that you had requested an extension. That was through Magistrate Mary Kelly. And so at this point, there's nothing that I can do in this because you have already defaulted and then you've gone well beyond the time period for me to set aside the default. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So at this point, you need to figure out when you're gonna pay. You requested a 30-day extension in March. You didn't pay it, and that's why this was set for an additional show cost.
I understand, Your Honor.
When can you make payment, sir?
Your Honor, to be honest with you, I mean, I have no idea. Like, I'm not working because of my condition. I haven't been cleared to work for my doctor. I'm up to date with everything by being incapable by moving for 6-7 months. So,
Okay, so you're unsure when you'll be able to return to work?
yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
Okay, I'll give you a 90-day extension, and you'll give us an update at that time, okay?
Yep, that'll work, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, you're all set. Someone's supposed to be in the jail. I don't see him. Got it. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Dominic Salazar. File number 23-00201, council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant Dominic Salazar, who is appearing separately by video.
Okay, Mr. Salazar, today's the date and the time that's set for a pretrial on operating while intoxicated. Looks like there was an offer that was extended for the defendant to plead guilty to count 1 and dismiss count 2. Is that still the offer?
Your Honor, there is a new offer today. The offer now is an added count 3 of impaired driving, and the city would dismiss count 1 and 2. At this time, Mr. Salazar, I want him to contact his probation officer to go over that offer with him and see if there'd be any complications to his probation, and would be requesting a 2-week adjournment.
He is on probation?
Yes, Your Honor, in the circuit court.
Oh. We'll reset it.
13th at 9:30.
You can set it for a plea June 13th at 9:30. Did you hear that, Mr. Salazar?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm writing it down right at the moment. June
Very good.
13th,
Yeah.
9:30 a.m.
30?
I have got it.
It was 9:30. Okay, did I write the right time? Okay, good. Do you have any questions for the court?
No, Your Honor, I just appreciate you guys taking the time or taking the court's time and letting me figure this out.
Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Have a good one. I've not seen, that is Alex Wilson.
We don't have either, we don't have any contact information, phone, email, or address.
Well, we'll find, we'll ask his birthday. It's more than one, huh? Is the right one. Oh, it looks like on May 10th, he walked for Mason. Is that walk? We'll hold the file. Until later, maybe who's knows back. Who represents Mr. Shady?
I do, Your Honor. I do need a breakout room with him.
This is the correct Mr. Shady?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Oh, okay, there's only one custody. We'll add him to your room. On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Aisha Glasgow, file number 18-07214 and 21-00220. Ms. Glasgow, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, let's see. Why do I only have one file? Oh, there it is. Glasgow, today is the date and the time that's set for show cause on both files because you have balances due and you've not been making payments. File number 21-00220, you were supposed to make payments of $20 per month. That was ordered back in January.
yes, ma'am.
Why have you not been making payments?
I haven't been working that many hours and I had to catch up on my rent, which was $1,500.
Where do you work, ma'am?
Miller, Living Connections. It's assisted living.
And so is this a temporary thing that you won't be working a lot of hours, or are you expecting your hours to increase again?
Yes, I'm expecting them to increase again.
Okay, when is that?
I talked to them this morning. I should be on the schedule again this weekend.
Okay, and so you'll be able to restart your payments in June?
Yes, ma'am.
Cal note here that you'll be restarting your payments in June. You'll make your first payment by June 15th.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
File number 18-072, and actually on that file, let me give you a balance. It looks like you owe $250 plus $89 in restitution.
No, I've paid on it. It should only be 184 or something.
That's the 21 file. 184.
Yes.
You owe 184, that's correct. Okay, and then file number is 18-07214. Balance 427.50. 380. You owe $380 on that one, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you'll begin making payments on that by June
Same day.
30th. Okay. You have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus David Lee Cheney, file number 23-01150, council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant David Cheney, who is appearing separately from the Ingham County Jail.
Okay, Mr. Cheney, today was the date set for pretrial on furnishing false information. Council Hall, we proceed.
Your Honor, at this time, there is no offer from the city attorney. Mr. Cheney would be pleading as charged.
That's correct, Mr. Cheney. You want to plead to the original charge, correct?
That's correct.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Okay, Mr. Cheney, you have the right in this matter to proceed to a trial. You have the right to a jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to question, confront, or see any of the witnesses that the prosecution intends to call. You have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence at trial that you believe would further a defense to this charge. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to have the city prove each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you would have to give up each of those rights in order to enter a guilty plea to the furnishing false information. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody threatening you to get you to want to waive your rights today and plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Any promises being made to you in exchange for a guilty plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
No.
Okay, you understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that you may need to report to your employer.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, and you understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that may have impact on either travel or immigration status that you may be seeking.
All right. I ain't know that.
Okay. Do you have a concern about that you want to talk with the attorney about?
No, it's good. It's good. I understand.
Okay, sounds good. And so are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
As to the charge of furnishing false information, how do you plead?
I plead guilty.
On or about August 18th, 2022. Were you at the area of 120 West Michigan Avenue, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what did you do to make you guilty of furnishing false information to the police?
I told him the wrong name. I ain't telling my real name.
Okay. And you were in custody as part of investigation?
Yes, ma'am. I was in jail.
Okay, and that's why they asked your name?
Yes, ma'am. They fingerprinted me.
Okay, what name did you give them?
I think it was my brother's name.
Okay, sounds good. Any additional questions?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
Okay, the court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea, finding your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. Was he in custody when he was arraigned on this?
Yes, Your Honor. He is in custody. He has pending felony matters in circuit court that have remanded him. So he has been in custody for 13 days.
Okay, I'll give you credit. Time served. You're all set.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Ms. Kamakune is here. Who represents her?
I do.
Okay. Did you need to speak to her or are you ready to go?
No, we're ready to go.
We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Annette Kamakune. File number is 23L2769821. Council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Annette Kamakune.
Thank you. Today was the date that we reset the pretrial because we were waiting for proof that she passed her road test. How are we proceeding at this time?
Your Honor, I was able to confirm via Secretary of State that Ms. Kakune has a valid license and therefore the city would move to dismiss the charge.
Okay, the motion to dismiss is granted. You're all set, Ms. Kamakune.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. It again? Oh. Is that Ms. Collins?
That's mine. You're
Oh.
communicating right now with Mr. Staker.
Sounds good. Mr. Lee, did you take care of Mr. Colombo?
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
Okay. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Tango Colombo, file number 22-03517 and 220116901. Council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Tango Lavetta Kalumbu, who is present in the courtroom and standing to my right.
Okay, today is the date and the time that is set for a pretrial and two pretrials, one's for no ops, one's for failure to display ops. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I've been provided with proof that licensure has been obtained, and so the city would move to dismiss both charges.
Sure these are both citations. Okay. Motion to dismiss is granted. Both cases are dismissed, so you're all set. Thank you. Was this? Okay. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Trevor Anthony King. File number is 22-02880 OM. Council appearance.
Assistant Public
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
and Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant Trevor King, who is present and sitting to my right.
Okay, Mr. King, today was the date that is set for a pretrial and loud and boisterous littering.
I was just something about mental health when they sent me.
I'm sorry,
When I left the jail, they said I had mental health court instead.
not here.
That's what they said, because I ended up in the padded room for 11.
Do you have another matter pending?
I don't know. They took me to the CMH and they didn't even know I was even coming.
I don't know, unless you have another matter pending.
I
This was a matter that I believe you were given an opportunity to do some
community
community
service.
service, and the city would dismiss.
And that's why I got locked up, because I've been working 2 to 3 jobs. I was working 2 jobs, then I picked a 3rd job doing DoorDash. I do Amazon Pizza House and do DoorDash too on the side, so that way my baby mom doesn't have to work. And I'm trying to save up money. And then I set an alarm the day I had court, but the time that I set it for was a later time than the time I had court. So it just went off at a later time. At that point, I was already at work again. And I was like, shit. And I called up here and I was like, hey, it was like 4 o'clock by the time I realized I had court that day. I was like, hey, I realized I missed court. Can I set it up for tomorrow? They said walk-in arraignments is only Monday, Tuesdays, Fridays. You can't come in tomorrow. I said, all right, whatever. So Friday came. I came in here in my Amazon uniform, everything, like at 8 o'clock in the morning before walking arraignments started. And I was like, hey, I know I missed court the other day, but I got a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm here early. Can we get it figured out? Da 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 da. I still have a couple hours left to do service. Yada yada yada. She's like, no, the judge wants to recommend that you get remanded so that way you don't miss your next court date, because this is your 3rd time missing court. Would be the 3rd time I'm missing court now. So I was like, all right, 3 strikes, you're out. I understand, whatever. I'll go do my time. Now, fast forward to going to do my time. I never once seen cats when I was in there. Not the Friday I went, not the following Monday, not until the following Monday on I believe the 15th, which was a Monday.
What did you need to see cats for?
Mental health.
Okay, who did you notify that you needed some mental health treatment?
The entire jail. That's why I have a lawsuit going on right now against Newton County.
Oh.
Because I didn't see cats from those psych people until a day before I had court,
Gotcha.
which is BS if you ask me.
Gotcha. But you're not here for any mental health court. I don't know if you have a mental health court matter pending, but it's not.
So
what you're here
when I
for
went
today.
to do a 48-hour lockdown, right? That's why I missed court. when I was locked up. And because they said, oh, where's Trevor at? Oh, well, I would have been in the hole. So nobody came and got me for court. When I finally did, and when they finally did came to get me, they put me into a room with some lady I didn't even know on the camera for a good 30, 40 minutes. I'm telling them, who is this lady? I don't know this lady. They finally got it dialed and realized they were dialed into an iPhone instead of the meeting ID number that you're supposed to type. I've done Zooms before. I know what you're supposed to do. I'm not the one doing it. I'm not the tech guy. I'm the inmate. You guys do your job as police officers to make sure I can talk to my judge. You know, so I was in there, I walked in there at 11:09 into this polycam room. Didn't see nobody at all whatsoever besides the lady I had no idea it was until 2:00 p.m. Okay. Mind you, this is the 16th when we were supposed to have court when I was locked up.
Okay.
So then I went back to my room and they said, yeah, when you're done with this 48-hour lockdown, you're gonna do a 96-hour lockdown, and then you're on maximum security. And you're gonna be doing 23-1s until your next court date. And they didn't tell me when my next court date was. I said, okay, well, tell my family I love them. And I tied a sock around my neck so tight that it left red marks, and they had to basically cut it off with a knife. And they took me to the paddock room, butt naked, and my blood pressure was 190/90, and my pulse was 196, and still refused to give me meds. And then took me out of the room about an hour later, if that, to go see it, and said that I'm going to CMH. I get to CMH, they're clueless to who I am and ask me what I'm doing there after I just tried in the suicide attempt. What are you doing here? Who is this? Oh, they told us to take him to you guys. Oh, we're not waiting for him. Deputies left. I used the bathroom, talked to him for a quick second. They said, you can go if you want to. I said, all right, bet. I left, and my mom met me in traffic halfway to the weed shop. Thank God I really wasn't suicidal, because I could have really hopped in front of traffic. I really had tried to kill myself numerous times. Thank God I wasn't feeling that suicidal that day. So that shows you how much the court and the legal system really cares so much about individuals.
The court has no concern, no knowledge of you trying to kill
I
yourself. We
know,
weren't there.
I know.
We
That's
were
my whole
notified.
point. That's
How would we know that you were in jail?
Because if your deputies would have stayed with me,
They're not our deputies.
state of Michigan.
Yeah, well, you are conflating the court
No,
and
I
the
said the state
jail.
of Michigan.
No, you said the court, that are
All right,
deputies.
my bad.
They're not our deputies. They're
All right,
Lincoln County deputies.
Excuse me, ma'am. My bad. State of Michigan.
Okay, well, the state of Michigan had no knowledge that you were in jail. If in fact this occurred, that you made an attempt to commit suicide. The only person who would know that is you in the jail. Maybe your lawyer would know that. Maybe your medical professional would know that.
So what about the deputies that cut the neck?
The deputies, if that happened, then they would be aware. The court would not have that knowledge. So you said.
So why do they say I have?
I'm speaking up because you said something in reference to the court's knowledge of that, and the court has no knowledge of that. I couldn't even tell you when or how that
And
occurred.
that's my fault.
Yeah, you missed court 3 times. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
You're responsible for that. You're liable for that.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got a pretty heck of a deal offered to you for you to do some community service, and the city would dismiss it. You never came back to court. Your attorney did not hear from you. We held the case before I even issued a bench warrant for 2 days, waiting for you to show up. You didn't do it. You're not gonna put that off on anybody but yourself. Oh, yeah, I let you talk, and your time to talk is now over. It's my time to talk. And today, more than 60 days later, because you were given that offer back on January 31st. You was given 60 days to complete the community service. You were supposed to be in court on April 4th at 9:30. You failed to appear. Your attorney had made no contact with you. You turned up later and said that you were working late and you forgot to set your alarm. So the story you told today about the alarm thing and you working the jobs so that your baby's mother didn't have to work, that was as to April 4th. You then went on to miss court 2 other times after that. You still made no contact with your attorney. You still did not tender the community service. And today, from what you said, you still haven't done the community service.
I said I haven't finished.
Yeah, you don't, yeah, well, your time to finish it was over.
I just got out of jail.
No, you had more than enough time to do the community service that you was offered to do.
I didn't know I had to still do the community service. I went to jail. She told me that we're gonna get credited time served, and I didn't have to do the community service.
Well, she was gonna ask for credit time, so she can't tell you what you're gonna get.
Well, I don't know what's going on. So my mind is scrambled like an egg. Your Honor.
I can see that.
And I hold myself, when the magistrate told me I'm gonna do 11 days, I wasn't even mad. I was like, she's right. I've been messing court back to back. If I was a judge, I'd have locked me up too. And I had no problem.
We don't want to go back and forth and track you down and wait for you to keep coming for years and years and years to address this. You have to be the same way you felt like you needed to take some responsibility so that you can keep your baby's mother from going to court or going to work. You were supposed to make sure you got to court to take responsibility for this so that you would stay out of jail.
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't do that. And you can't hold anybody else accountable but yourself. You can't blame the magistrate. You can't blame the jail. You can't blame the judge. You left me no recourse but to remand you to get you here because I have not seen you since January.
And Your Honor, I was not.
And it's May.
You're completely 100% right, Your Honor.
Stop talking. That's what her job is for, okay? I've given you plenty of time to talk and now we're done. This is not going back and forth for another hour. And so today is the date and time that was set to address the pretrial because we still have not addressed the pretrial. You still have a lingering loud and boisterous and or littering. And when you tried to enter a plea back in January, the plea failed. And that was how we ended up with the city offering what they offered because you didn't believe or you wasn't sure that you wanted to accept to enter a guilty plea to the original charge. So are you saying now you want to plead guilty to the original charge?
If that will get this all done and over with, then yes.
Well, you can't do it just because of that. You're gonna have to plead guilty because you believe you're guilty because we're gonna need a factual basis.
This is what I believe. The loud and boisterous charge, yes, even though I don't really understand and know what it means, it sounds kind of right, whatever. But the littering, I try to throw my cup into a trash can officer is standing next to it. It's on his body cam footage. You can see. I tried to throw it in and I missed. So I would like that to be dismissed. I
think it's just one charge. Is it?
There were two charges, Your Honor, but the offer is that he plead to the loud and boisterous and the city will dismiss the littering.
And I also went afterwards, since I've been out, I went and turned myself into CMH and got evaluated. I got a meeting coming up with them here soon. You know, so I really am trying my best, Your Honor, to straighten out my life and get my priorities together.
Okay. It sounds like you might need to address some mental health though.
Yes.
And that would be the first step in straightening out your life.
Yes.
Getting your mental state in order.
That's where I'm trying to do. That's why I'm locked up right now because I had an incident earlier.
I don't want to go on record on any of those facts.
That's why it's important not to over talk in court. Let her talk.
Long story short, I'm trying to get going to CMH today.
Okay, well, we'll do our best to make sure we support you in getting the CMH today. How about
You
that?
recommend that I go to CMH?
I can make all the recommendations I want. You're gonna be responsible for taking yourself there though, if you're released from jail. You understand that? Okay. So the count one is disturbing the peace and quiet or loud and boisterous. And then there's a count two of did litter or deposit trash or refuse in any street, alley, or parkway. City is going to move to dismiss count two upon successful plea to count one. Is that accurate, Mr. Staples?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury? I can't hear you.
Losing my voice.
That's fine. Thank you. You can put your hand down. Okay, before you can enter a guilty plea, there's a piece of paper that's in front of you that looks like an advice of rights and plea information sheet. You need to make sure you have read each of the rights that are listed there and that you understand all of those rights because those are the rights that you would have to waive in order to enter a guilty plea to count one, which is the loud and boisterous. So you understand those rights here, sir? You have any questions about those rights?
No, ma'am.
So you have the right to a jury trial in this matter. You're willing to waive your right to jury trial to plead guilty? I can't hear you.
I say yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're willing to waive your presumption of innocence. So that means you're innocent until the city can prove you guilty. And they can prove you guilty at a trial by proving each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You want to waive that right in your presumption of innocence in order to plead guilty today? You have to say it so they can hear you on the record.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you also want to waive your right to cross-examine any other witnesses if they intend to call, your right to call your own witnesses, and your right to present evidence at trial to further a defense of the charge being brought against you. You're gonna waive all of those rights.
Yes.
Anybody threatening you to get you to want to waive those rights?
No, ma'am.
Has there been any promises made to you that enticed you into want to waive these rights? Are you currently on probation or parole?
No.
You understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that you may need to report to your employer. You have to speak so we can hear you. Okay. And you understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that may have impact on travel or immigration status that you may be seeking.
Yes.
Okay. And are you pleading guilty to count one of loud and boisterous because you believe you were guilty? Okay. As to count one of loud and boisterous, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or do you stand mute?
Yes.
Kind of a factual basis.
Thank you. Right, Trevor, on March 5th of 2022 in the afternoon, were you at the Sidecar Bar at 500 East Michigan Avenue in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan?
Yeah.
All right, and at that time and place, were you being loud and yelling at employees and customers?
Yes.
All right, and did the Lansing Police Department come to the bar?
Yeah.
All right, and did they tell you to leave multiple times?
Yeah, but I wasn't refusing to leave.
So
I was
you
just
did,
taking my time.
so you did leave, and while you were leaving, did you continue to be loud and yell in the bar?
Probably. That I remember.
All right, Your Honor, no further questions.
Any questions from the city?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. I find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. Count two is dismissed per the plea agreement. Give you credit, time served, and you're all set. You should make sure you make your way to community mental health, okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Same to you.
Like the bun too, bun on fleek.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all we got for now, Mr. Staples.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good morning, rest of your morning.
Same to you.